Just popping in from the swimming pool. It's been a hot day, and me and Mayzie and Maverick are hanging out outside. Easy Willow. You're such a good girl. It's nice to come out and be in the pool after a hot day outside, isn't it, Sissy? Yeah. And my floaty. Mayzie. Maverick barking at me. Hey, hello, Mayzie Willow. See, this is our favorite way to relax at the end of a hot day. Welcome in, Kathleen. Thank you. Maisie's my water girl. Her brother Maverick prefers to stay in the front yard at the front fence barking at people going down the road because he thinks he owns everything. Maverick, you coming out to say hi to everybody? Hi, bud. Can you say hi to the people? Hi. He says, don't touch me, Mom. I don't want to get wet. I don't trust you. You're fine, buddy. I won't put you in Maverick Mellow. I know you don't like it. Sissy likes it, though. Sissy's got her own floaty made out of a fleece towel and a circle float, a round float. But it's good enough for her, and she hasn't popped it yet. Welcome in, the only cat. Thanks for popping in. They're listening to the neighborhood dogs barking. Who's out there, Maverick? You want to get out and go see? Do you want to go up to the stairs? No? You want to stand? You can stay in. You don't have to get out. Oh, you want to get out? Here, let me put you up the edge, sis. There you go. What are you doing, Maverick? Oh, they got to go see who's out the fence. And they're going to play bitey face. Hey, Anthony Chihuahua. Welcome in. Thanks for popping in. These guys are being silly tonight. They got the zoomies. When a dog down the road has the audacity to bark or howl, he doesn't understand that these guys own the whole town. Thank you for joining in. Really appreciate it. Especially since like this was just like a spur of the moment. I decided that when it was going to stay 90 degrees until midnight tonight, it was a good day to stay out late and hang out in the pool. And luckily, one of my two dogs likes to hang out here with me. I don't let her do it too much in the daytime because when it's super hot out, she can stay inside. But once in a while, she comes out and actually swims in the pool with me. Usually, like Thursdays or Fridays when I'm ready to take the filter out and clean it for on Saturdays. Otherwise, we have Boston Terrier hair in the filter. We don't like that. Puppy glitter. From Cal, Aries, and all the friends, of course. Yep. I'm so glad I found that community. You guys are all so nice and so welcoming. Not snarky like some other groups that I've attempted to be community with, but they weren't so nice. So y'all seem very like-minded. Mayzie, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come back out here. You want to get back on your floaty? No? All right. I agree. Ari's World is awesome. It's been really hot and humid this week, and I've been able to spend every day in the pool after work this week. It's kind of lonesome out here when my grown kids have, annoying things like jobs and they can't come float with me. And my grandkids are getting bigger and they have lives now. So, and my husband's inside recovering from rotator cuff surgery, so he's not able to get out here. He talked about it this morning, wanting to come out here, and I'm like, no, you're not going to try to come out here in a sling and fall down the pool stairs or pool ladder and rip your shoulder apart again. So he's got about 3 more weeks in the sling, and then he'll have a little bit more freedom. He started therapy this week, so he's gone into 2 in-person appointments, and then he's got to do home therapy things like 3 or 4 times a day. So he's been pretty tough. I don't envy it. Anybody out there ever had shoulder surgery, like rotator cuff repair? Thank you, Anthony. It's going well. He wasn't supposed to be able to start therapy until like the 8-week mark, but he was doing so well that they let him start at about 3.5 weeks. So he'll already have probably 4 or 5 sessions in by the time he would have, but then before we anticipated he would start. So told him as long as he listens to the doctor and does what they said, he had a really, really good surgeon, highly recommended, and they did a really good job and were able to fix everything that needed to be fixed. So we went in, I think, at 2.5 weeks after, and they did an x-ray of the shoulder, and it looked like everything was starting to heal up and everything was where it's supposed to be. So I've had to yell at him a couple times to not overdo it, but he'll get there. It's kind of sad because we travel a lot with the 2 dogs in our motorhome, our Thor Aria, and even though I've got my learner's permit to get the Illinois required Class C license to drive something that big, I'm not comfortable driving it. So our camping season pretty much ended early this year because he can't drive or hook up the Jeep. And I suppose I could, but I'd rather not. I'm scared. I need more practice before I get comfortable driving the big RV pulling the Jeep behind it. Ooh, little walnut-sized bone in the shoulder. Permanently cracked on the right side. Man, they went in and, oh, that sounds very painful. It sounds a lot like what my husband had going on in the joint. They went in there and they actually ended up clipping off about 1/4 of an inch of his clavicle bone, like the shoulder bone in the front. It was had so much arthritic bony things sticking out of it. It was literally touching the arthritic bony things that were coming out of the shoulder joint. So the surgeon explained it like, imagine a 4-way intersection in a snowstorm and it's all clogged up, and then after the snow plows come in and there's a clear X, that's what the openings look like in there now. So I imagine that's probably the worst part of the surgery, and probably because it seems like once the nerve block wore off after about 3 days, that's where he had the most pain. Hopefully it heals up well, because that's the area of the shoulder that gave him the most problems, but he did have torn ligaments on the top, the bottom, and both sides of the shoulder. 4 of the major ones. Of course, it didn't help that about a year ago, we thought it would be a great idea at our age to take our older grandkids skating, and we were at a skating rink and he fell. That's pretty much what finished it off. Just after years of, repetitive use from being in construction and building. The caracoid bone. I'll have to Google that. I'm a board certified Google looker upper. Yep, he's doing really good. He's listening. They actually let him. He got okay from the surgeon and the physical therapist to drive himself to therapy this week, one armed, because we live rural. We're about 30 minutes from the nearest town that has a physical therapy facility. And I had taken days off of work, and some of our friends had, and then he had a retired buddy taking him around. But ended up one day that he just didn't have a ride, so the doctor said he could do it, but he just had to be careful. He said it made him really nervous. He knew he was doing all the right things, but he was afraid he was going to have to do evasive maneuvers to avoid other people in traffic or something. So he was excited that he was going to get to drive again, but then he said it made him so nervous that he really wasn't that excited until things get better. The final tear, happened roller skating. And he went in, and I don't know, about a week after it happened, it still was bothering him really bad. So he went in, and they basically just did all the dumb things that they have to do before they get to the actual fix, which is try the injections and then try a couple rounds of physical therapy. And then they finally did the MRI and said that there were 4 torn ligaments, and then they scheduled him 4 torn tendons, and then they scheduled him right away to go in for the repair. Thank you for the prayers. We'll take all we can get. Yeah, ouchie. And it's funny because he kept telling us we should not go skating, and I just kept bugging him. The grandkids want to go. The grandkids want to go. They want Papa to go. So Papa went. Papa skated, and Papa fell, and the Papa said, "We got to go." Fast forward about a year later, surgery. But at least he's young enough that he can get it done, get it repaired, and hopefully it'll be all healed up, and he'll be back to 100% by the time he's ready to retire in a couple of years. Otherwise, I might have to hire us a driver, because I know I'm not driving us around the United States in a big old motorhome all in a toad. Maybe if we had like a little, I don't know, Class C camper or something, I'd feel more comfortable. But I'm barely 5 foot tall, and that's a big stretch to hit the pedals and see out the mirrors, and it makes me nervous passing semis and having semis pass me. I have driven a couple times, but I don't ever seem to get any less anxious about it. Probably not going to stay on here too long. Just wanted to pop in and tell everybody to have a good rest of the weekend, and be safe wherever you're doing, or whatever you're doing, and wherever you're at. And be kind to your friends and family. Kiss your dogs, pet your cats. And I think I'm going to go ahead and close it up here. You guys all have a great evening. I'll see you on the next one.